Now I am teaching the Mathematics 3 for the BTech courses, and for the Computer Science and Engineering code is MCSC 301. For Information Technology code is MIT 301. Today we learn Mathematics 3 paper code MCSC 301 graph theory lecture 34 paper code for the Information Technology MIT 301 module 6 for the Computer Science and Engineering, and module 5 for the Information Technology. Module 6 and module 5 is graph theory. Lecture 34 for the Computer Science and Engineering, and lecture 31 for Information Technology, MIT 301. Lecture 34, paper code MCSC 301, module 6. Lecture 31 for paper code MIT 301, module 5. Today's discussion is theorem, example, and few definitions. First, we learn the complement of a graph. We already learned the definition of a graph. Graph, what is the graph? It is a collection of vertices and edges, and there is a map between the vertex and the edges. For edge, we need a pair of vertices, and a graph may not be the empty vertex set, but maybe the empty edge set. Now, the complement of a simple graph means without the parallel edges and the self loop. The complement of a simple graph G is a simple graph denoted as the G bar, which has the same vertex set. That means if we consider both have the same, how many vertex set is there? 4 vertex, here is the 4 vertex. So G bar, which has the same vertices as G, and 2 vertices in G are adjacent if they are not adjacent in G, and vice versa. If we consider this graph 2, it has the 4 vertex, 2 vertex. If we consider A and B, they are adjacent with this edge, and we can find out the another graph. Suppose this is the G1. In G1, these 2 vertex are not the adjacent. Here B and D are not the adjacent. That 2 vertex should be adjacent in the another graph G1. Here C and D are not the adjacent. That's why C and D are the adjacent in the G1. So if we check G1 and G2, 2 vertex where both have the same number of vertices, and those vertices are in G1 are adjacent, they are not adjacent in the G2. And those vertices are not adjacent in the G1, they are adjacent into G2. So if we combine or make the union of these two, we'll get the complement, that is the complete graph. Complete graph means every pair of vertices have an edge. Then we can say, in this case, G1 is the complement of G2, or we can say G2 is the complement of G1. But while combining these two, we are getting a complete graph. This is the 4 vertices complete graph. Now see again verify that the definition. The complement of a single graph G E is a simple graph denoted as the G bar which has the same vertex set as G. That means if we call it the G and the two vertices in G are adjacent if they are not adjacent in G. This is the complement of this. So if it is the G, then it is the G bar. If it is the G, then it is the G bar. And combining this, we will get this a complete graph. Union of the two graphs. How we can make the union of a two graph? Let G1 a graph with the vertex set V1 and E1, and E2 is a graph with the vertex set V2 and A set is E2. V2 graphs where Vi, Ei are the vertex set and the S set of Gii is equal to 1 to 2. Then the union of G1 and G2. So if we take the union of G1 and G2 denoted by G1 union G2 and is defined as the graph whose vertex set is. That means after getting the union of G1 and G2, suppose we are considering that is the graph G, then vertex set of the G will be the V1 union V2 and S set of the G will be the E1 union E2. That means union of E1 and E2 is the S set of the G and vertex set will be V1 union V2 of G. Let's see, this is a G1, V1, V2, V3, three vertices, E1, E2, E3. That is the G1. And G2, V1 is there, E4, V4, E3, E5, E3. So what are the common of these two? V1, E3, V3, V1, E3, V3. So combining this vertex set, the union of the vertex set, and S set is the union of this. So E3 union E3, we will get the 1 E3 and V1 V3 and V1 V3 combining, we will get the 1 V1 and V3. So combining this, these E3 and this E3 will be merged and V1 V3 is merged. So combining these two graph, we are getting this is G1 union G2. V1 V2 V3, V1 V2 V3, E1 E2, E1 E2. This is the E3, this is E3 common, and V4 is there, V4, E4, E5. This is the one example of union of the two graph. Next, we are considering the another graph. Definition is the same. I'm not going to the definition here. This is the G1 and G2. So G1 and union G2 set, vertex set will be the union of the V1 and V2, and S set will be the union of E1 and E2. If we check here, this is the one graph G1 and this is the another graph G2. V3, V1, V3, V1, A G3 and V3 is common these two graphs. E is not common to the G1. Only common V1, AG3 and vertex V3. That means two vertex and one is common. This is not common. So when we are union this vertex V1, AG3 and V3 appears only once. Since E is not the common, so it will be appears also. Now we say that is the combined of this, we will get V1, E1, V2, E2, V3, and this is the two edge is there. E3 is common and E is not common, that's why E3, E, E5. This is the union of the two graph. Again, we are considering the another example. This is the one graph, this is the one graph. What is the common part? This part is the common only. This part. This part is the common. That means V1, A, V2, C, V3, B. V1, A, V2 C. This is the G. So G and B is not common. So that 2 will be appear. And V1 A V2 and C V3, that is the common part. So this will be repeat. Comes once B and G, B and G. And the rest of the part is separate, and this is also the separate. So both all will come, and those are the common part that will be appears only once. This is the union of the two graph G1 and G2. This is the union of the two graph. Now we learn the intersection of the two graph. Intersection of the two graphs. Let G1 V1 E1 be a graph and G2 V2 E2. V1 and V2 is the S set and E1 E2 is the V1 V2 is the vertex set and E1 E2 is the S set of the graph. B2 graphs where Vi Ei are the vertex sets and the S set of Gi is equal to 1 to 2. Then the intersection of G1 and G2 is denoted by G1 intersection G2 and is defined as the graph whose vertex set is intersection of V1 V2 and S set is the intersection of E1 intersection E2. This is G1 graph. Vertex is V1 V2 V3 and S set E1 E2 E3. Another graph is G2 V1 E3. What are the vertex? V1 V3 V4 and S set is E3 E4 E5 and E. Only common is vertex V1 and V3 and edge E3. That means V1 E3 V3 is the common. So intersection of this we are getting this. So intersection of the two graphs, it is clear to us. Now another example of this. This is the one graph and this is the another graph. G1 is the graph. What are the common? V1 A V2, V2 C, V3. And another is V5 is the common, that vertex, V5. That vertex is the common. So what are the common part? That will be appears in the intersection of G1 and G2. V1 A V2, V1 A V2 and V2 C V3, V2 C V3 and the vertex V5. This is the intersection of G1 and G2. Is denoted as G1 intersection G2. Now isomorphic graph. When we are saying that two graphs are isomorphic, that means they are same, or you can call it the similar. That means the same graph. But maybe in the drawing we can be confused. They are isomorphic or not. That is the, with the help of the properties, we have to check to graph is isomorphic or not. But very simple way, in the looking they may not be the similar or the same graph. That's why it is known as the isomorphic. That means they are equivalent or the same. Two graphs G and G dash are said to be isomorphic, that is, the equivalent to each other if there exists a one-to-one correspondence between their vertices. Whatever the vertex set in the graph, suppose G and vertex set and G dash, which one we are calling is the isomorphic, there be a one-to-one correspondence between the vertices and between their edges. That means one-to-one correspondence between the vertices and the edges, such that the incidence relationship is preserved. That means the adjacency of the corresponding edges should be preserved, and also the adjacency vertices of the corresponding edges, the degree should be the same. In other words, two graphs G and G dash are isomorphic if G and G dash have, that means since we are saying one-to-one correspondence between the vertices, that means two graphs have the same number of vertices. Again, we are saying between their edges, corresponding their edges, that means one-to-one correspondence between the edges of the two graphs G and G dash. That means one condition is same number of vertices and another condition same number of edges. First two conditions should be satisfy 1 and 2. Then we move to the next condition. The correspondence vertices have the same degree. That means the adjacent vertices of the corresponding edge have the same degree. The incidence relationship between the vertices and edges are preserved. That means the two edges are correspondence, their vertices, adjacent vertices should be the corresponds and their degree of the vertices should be the same. Meaning of this incidence relationship between the vertices and the edges are preserved. Does it mean that? Here we are considering the two graphs. Now we have to show that they are isomorphic or not. G is a one graph and G dash is another graph. Now the previous continuation of that. Therefore, if an edge E is incident on the vertices V and V2 in G, then the corresponding edge E dash in G dash must be incident on the vertices V1 dash and V2 dash. That means V1 dash corresponding to the V1 and V2 dash corresponding to the V2, as E dash is corresponding to the edge E dash correspondence to the vertices V1 and V2 respectively in G. Now, if V1 dash corresponding to V1, so both the vertex have the same degree. If V2 dash is corresponding to V2, then they have the same degree. Two graphs G and G dash are isomorphic. Yes or no, that we have to check one by one. G is a graph and here is the G dash is a graph. Simple way, if we check, see, if we think this is the made by a rubber band, if we think the G dash is made by a rubber band, so I can pull it here and this is pushed and this is pushed here, then it looks like similar to that. If we pull it here and this is pushed to here, when it is comes to here, that means W1 corresponding to V5. If we think that way, and W2 shifted here, it is pushed here and W2 shift here. So W2 corresponding to V6 and W6 corresponding to V1. If we think that way, so when it is pulled here and it is pushed, so it looks like the same. And we have to find out the correspondence of the vertex, then we have to find out the corresponding edge, then we have to find out the degree of the vertices. First, you have to check how many edges here in the graph G and how many vertices. 4 and 2, 6 vertices in G. Here also the 6 vertices in G dash. So first point is over. Second point, how many edges in G? 7 edges. And here how many edges? 7 edges. Point 1 and 2 over. Third point, we have to find out the correspondence. That means the incidence property and preserve of the incidence. That means when we are finding the edge correspondence, we have to find out the vertex correspondence is the same or not. In the next slide, I am explaining. The correspondence between the two graphs is as follows. See, vertices of the graph G, V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6 correspondence to, see, if we pull it, pushed, and this is pull, so obviously V1 corresponding to W6, then V2 corresponding to W3, then V3 corresponding to W4, then V4 corresponding to W5, and V5 corresponding to, come here, this should be come here, W1, and V6 corresponding to W2 respectively. The edges, similar way, as soon as we got the vertex correspondence, so pair of vertices will get the edge. So V1, V2, if we take the vertices in a pair, that is E1 edge, we can take as a vertex pair V1, V2. So V1 is corresponding to W6 and V2 is corresponding to W3. So we can easily find out that E1 corresponding to A1. So you can say the edges E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6 and E7 corresponding to E1. A1, E1 corresponding to A1. This is E2 corresponding to A2. This is not changed. E3 corresponding to A3. Then we move here. So E5 is corresponding to, this will come here. That means E5, when it is pushed here and it is pulled here, so E5 corresponding to A5. E6 corresponding to, this will come here, A6. E7 corresponding to A7, and one left, E4 corresponding to A4. This will come here. When we pulled it, so A4 will be here. So E4 corresponding to A4. So each vertex correspondence and each correspondence we already got. Now we have to check the degree of the corresponding vertices and incidency preserved or not. If we check the degree of V1, V1 is corresponding to W6. This the degree is 2, here is degree is 2. Degree of V2 is 3, and V2 is corresponding to W3, this is degree 3. Now V3 is corresponding to W4, is degree 2. Now V4 is corresponding to W5, both have the degree 3. Now again V5 is corresponding to W1, both have the degree 2. Now V6 corresponding to W2, degree is 2. Hence the two graphs G and G test are isomorphic. So here clearly we can say that two graphs are isomorphic. That means sometimes they cannot be looks like the same, but if we observe and some alteration we have done in the graph, then we can say they are the isomorphic or not. Otherwise we have to check correspondence of vertices, edges, and degree and incidence property. They are examined where the two graphs G and G test are isomorphic. The correspondence between these two graphs is as follows. The vertices A, B, C, D. The vertices A, B, C, and D corresponding to V1, V2, V3, V4, and 5, and E is there. A, B, C, D. If we pull it like that, suppose, if we pull it like that, if we pull is like that here, so and this, see, if we checked it, so D must be correspondence with V4. Obviously, D correspondence with the V4. These and these two it. This is degree 3 and this is also the degree 3. This is also the degree 3. This is the 2 degree. So we left over. This is corresponding. This is corresponding to this. So B is 2 degree. That should be corresponding to B corresponding to V2. Otherwise, no alteration is there. Now one thing, the V3 and V1. A is 3 degree and 1 edge incident to this. That we have to check. So that way, this is the incidence property. When V1 is corresponding to A and D is corresponding to V4, so that edge taking these two vertices is E2. That means 2, edge 2 is corresponding to E2. So if we check that way, and we can find out the correspondings A, B, C, D, and E corresponding to this V1, V2, V3, V4, and V5. Similarly, we can find out the edge correspondence and degree. The edges 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 corresponding to the E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, and E6. That way, as soon as we got the vertex correspondence, pairing the vertices, we'll get the edge, then we can easily find out the edge correspondence. Now we can check the degree easily. Degree of A equal to degree of V1 is equal to 3, degree of B equal to degree of V2 is equal to 2, degree of C equal to degree of V3 is equal to 3, degree of D equal to degree of V4 is equal to 3, degree of E of degree of V5 is equal to, here E is the vertex, small letter, equal to 1. This is our the pendant vertex. This is the pendant vertex. So E is corresponding to V5. Hence, the two graphs G and G test are isomorphic. Examine whether the two graphs G and G test are isomorphic or not. We can easily see these two graphs are isomorphic. Pull it here, push it here, push there, push there, and push there, and push there. So otherwise, we can pull it. If it is pull it in the up, pull it up, pull it up, and pull it up. So we'll get this. So from that way, we can say these two graphs are the isomorphic. These three graphs are the isomorphic. That we can verify easily. Now question is that these two graphs, they are isomorphic or not. How many vertices? If we check how many vertices in the A, graph A, 4 and 2, 6 vertices. Here is also the 6 vertices. Number of edges 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges. That is number of vertices and number of edges is fulfilled. Third criteria. How many pendant vertex? 1, 2, and 3. Then the pendant vertex 1, 2, and 3. 3 vertex have the degree 1. 1 vertex of degree 3. 1 vertex of degree 3. 1 vertex of degree 3. And another 2 vertex have the degree 2. Another 2 vertex have the degree 2. Now, one thing, when we are taking the incidence with respect to this, incidence of this, one edge incident to this, which one have the degree 2, and here also the another edge which is incident to, that is the adjacency vertex of that edge is degree 2, and one vertex have the degree 1. If we compare with this, it is not satisfying the incidence property of this vertex. If we say x vertex is corresponding to y, but they are not satisfying the incidence property. One edge incidence to this, and adjacency vertex have the degree 1. Another incidence edge at the vertex x, that adjacent vertex have the degree 1. But here it is not satisfying. Only one adjacent vertex is degree 1. Another 2 adjacent vertex have the degree 2. If we check only adjacent to this vertex with the incident edge, that have the degree 2. So it is not satisfying the incidence property if we find out the correspondences or corresponding vertices. So from that we can conclude this is not a isomorphic graph. So these two graphs are not isomorphic. Self-complementary graph. We got the complement graph. When a graph is complement of the other graph, both have the same number of vertices, and joining that two graph will get a complete graph. That is called the complement of a graph. That is basically we are coming in the next slide, that is the subgraph and union of graph and intersection of the graph. Self-complementary graph. Let G be a simple graph. Simple graph means a graph which has no parallel edges and no self-loop. That is the simple graph. The complement G bar of G is a simple graph which has V as its set of the vertices, and two vertices are adjacent in G bar if and only if they are not adjacent in G. G is said to be a self-complementary graph if G and G bar are isomorphic. Again I am saying this is the G. Self-complementary, first is the complement of this graph is those are the adjacent, number of vertices should be the same, one condition, and those vertices are here the adjacent, they should not be the adjacent in the complement graph. And if that complement graph again itself the G, then it is known as the self-complementary graph. We can say first find out the complement of this graph. What is the definition of the complement of a graph G? It is a simple graph of a simple graph complement. First, those vertices are adjacent here, they may not be the adjacent in the complement, and those vertices are not complement are not adjacent here, they must be the adjacent in the complement graph. So this is our the G. So what we will get in the G bar? G bar is our the complement. these two vertex should not be the adjacent. Here, these two vertex are not the adjacent, these two vertex are not the adjacent. So in the complement graph, these two vertex not be the adjacent in the complement graph, these two vertex be adjacent, these two vertex be adjacent, these two vertex be adjacent, and these two vertex not be adjacent, these two vertex not be adjacent. So it will looks like that. I am showing in the next slide. See, this will be adjacent, these two adjacent. These two will be adjacent because they are not adjacent in G. So they are be adjacent in G bar. Now you have to check they are isomorphic or not. That means that G bar is the same of G. Then we can say G is a self-complementary function. From G bar, if we get the G, then we can say G bar is the self-complementary. See, if we take here and turn, if it is the turn and open it, we will get this. Take it this and open it. We can easily open it. It is looks like a pin, pressure pin. If we open it and turn it, it will be similar to that, and from that we have to find out the corresponding vertices, corresponding edges, and degree of the vertex. We have to check they are isomorphic or not. The correspondence between the G and G bar is as follows. If we check the vertices V1, V2, V3 and V4, V1, V2, V3 and V4, we have to turn on this, this is turn on this way. It is this way, so if we turn on, then we will get from this the complement. Complement basically like that, if we turn on, we will get that. So from that we can say V1, V2, V3 and V4 corresponding to V4, W4, W3, W1 and W2. The edges E1, E2, E3, edges E1, E2 and E3 corresponding to A3, A1 and A2. Now we can check the degree of the vertices, corresponding vertices is the same. Therefore, from that we can say the G and G bar isomorphic, and hence the graph G is self-complementary. When we are finding the complement of a graph and it becomes the itself, then we say it is a self-complementary. Walk paths. Now we are entering into the walk paths, circuits, connected and disconnected graphs. Walk, a finite alternating sequence of vertices and edges a finite alternating sequence of the vertices, edges, and beginning and ending with vertices. When we are considering a sequence of vertex, edge, vertexes, vertexes, start and end should be the vertices such that each edge is incident with vertices. The preceding and following vertices is called walk. That means we are moving from vertex, edge, vertex, edge, vertex. That means we can move from one vertex to the another vertex. That is called the walk. That means we walking from here to there by moving from vertex, edge, vertex, edge, then vertex. End, start and end should be the vertex. Preceding and following vertices is called walk. For this graph, we are considering a walk. V3, I start from V3. V3, there is a self loop C. V3, C, then again come to the V3, then D. I'm moving here, the D, then V4, then I'm moving this way, E, then V2, then F, then V5, then I am moving the F, H, then again V2, then A, V2, then A, then V1. So this is the one walk. Walk have the two different definition in different book. Here I am talking about the edge and vertex may be repeat in the walk, but some books they are only considering the vertex repetition, not the edge repetition. So we are giving the another definition, that is the trail along with this. So this is the walk. A walk is also known as the edge train or a chain. Walk also known as the edge train or a chain. The set of vertices and edges constituting a given walk in a graph G is obviously a subgraph of G. Subgraph of G means all the vertices and edges present in the G of a graph G dash. If we call it path, a walk is a subgraph of G because all the edges and all the vertices are present in G. If we call it, this is a graph G. So if we consider this, our path, a walk, if we consider this walk, so all the vertex and edges set are present in G. That's why I call it the walk is a graph in G is obviously a subgraph of G. Walk of a graph G is obviously a subgraph of G. Vertices with which a walk begins and ends are known as its terminal vertices. If we consider V3 is the start end and V1 is the end of the walk, this is called the terminal vertices. These two, V3 and V1, are known as the terminal vertices. We can start from here also, like that, this way. We can write also anyway. That is our the walk. This is also the another walk. If we start from this vertex V5, A, V2, E, V4, D, V3, C, V3, B, V2, V1. This is also the another one. V1, G, V3, D, V4, E, V2, F, V5. Note, the origin and terminus of a walk may be same. If we complete and back to the same vertices, then we can say that the origin and the terminus of walk may be same. That means two end of the walk vertices be the same. In this case, we do not treat them as appearing twice. When the start and the end vertices is the same of a walk, then we can say they are appearing once only, not the twice. A vertex may appear twice or more in a walk. What are the things in the properties we are explaining? A vertex may appear twice or more in a walk. That means vertex may be repeat and edge may repeat. This is the definition of a walk, but some books we can find edge may not be appear more than once. That's why we are giving the another definition. That book you cannot get the another definition. We are coming, that is the trail. In between there is the one definition, that is the trail. An edge may appear twice or more in a work, but some books they are not treating this. A self loop can be included in a work, that I also shown you in the work. For example, length of a work. The number of edges in a work is known as the length of the work. That means for a work, we start with the vertex and end at the vertex. In between, how many edges is there? That is the length of the work. In the work, if we consider how many edges is there, we start with the V3 and reached or end with the V1. How many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The length of this work is 6. Closed and open work. We already discussed that the start vertex and end vertex of a work may be the same, and we are counting that time it is the 1. That means when the start vertex and end vertex is the same, we can say that means it is a closed work. Or when the start and the end means the two end vertices of a work are different, then we can say it is a open work. If a work of a graph begins and ends at the same vertex, then the work is called a closed work. A work which is not closed is called a open work. That means start vertex and end vertex of a work are different, then it is known as a open work. In this case, if we consider closed work, V3, start with the V3, then D, H, then V4, then E, then V2, then B, then V3. That means we start with the V3, then we come again to the V3 in this way. Then it is a closed work. Open work, V3, D, V4, V3, D, V4, E, V2, A, V1. It is a open work. A work, V1. Start with the V1. I start with the V1. See the beauty of this work. V1, V1, A, V2, B, V3, C, then again V3, then D, then V4, then V4, E, then V2, then F, then V5. So this is a open. Start with the V1, we reach to the V5 through the vertices, and which vertices repeated twice. If we check, we can check the V3 and V2 repeated twice, but no edge repeated. We can repeat the edge, no problem in a work. This is an open work, but this is, we can give the another definition. This is also satisfy our the another definition also. Trail. A walk is called a trail if all the edges are distinct. That means whatever the walk I shown in the open walk in the previous slide, that is also a trail because no edges repeated there. In the previous example, this is no edges is repeated here, but the vertex is repeated. What is the definition of trail? A walk is called a trail if all the edges are distinct. That means vertices may be repeated more than once. In a trail, the number of edges appears or is covered or traversed more than once, but a vertex may appear more than once. It is may not more than once. No edges appears or is covered or the traversed more than once. That means in a trail, no edge appears more than once, but number of edges, a number of vertices maybe appears more than once. But a vertex maybe appears more than once. So if we check here, V3D, V3D, V4, E, V2, B, V3. This is the trail. No edge repeated, but V3, start and end. This is a closed trail. If we say start and end vertices is the same of the trail, then it is a closed trail. And if the start and end vertices is the defined, then we can say it is a open trail. Another one, see V3, D, V4, E, V2, A, V1. It is a open trail. We start with the V, D, V4, E, V2, V1. It is a open trail. Now trail, see, beauty of this. They start with V1, A, V2, B, V3, C, then again V3, then D, V4, E, V2, F, V5. No edge repeated twice, but vertex repeated more than once. V2 repeated and V3 repeated. So this is a trail, and this trail is a open trail. This is a closed trail because start and end vertices is the same. In this case, start and end vertices defined. This is start and end vertices is defined. That's why these two are the open trail and this is the closed trail. Next class is our the lecture 35 for the paper code MCAC 301 module is 6. Lecture 32 for the paper code MIT 301 module is 5. And topics we will discuss that path. We already discussed the walk. It is path definition we will get from the walk and trail. Then circuit. Then we discuss the cycle. Then distance between the two vertices, diameter of a graph, and connected and disconnected graph that we learn in the next class.